others will get on. One thing I am going to ask, at least Amberly and Melissa, you guys will need to do this at the end of the session, is to fill out a post-session survey or feedback form. So you'll have to do that through the Whova app. Let me see if it's relatively straightforward. So let's see. Yeah, so from the homepage on the app, the second session is additional resources. And there's a survey option in there. So if you click on the survey option, the only thing under that is session feedback. And then if you scroll down today to Saturday, August 15th, the top form for Saturday is feedback for the East 2 Roundtable. So that's what you'll need to complete after this, just so we have a double check for attendance. And then you guys can give us feedback on the session. So yeah, Rafia, did they happen to respond to your message yet, or haven't heard anything?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right. I'm going to pull up one other thing, and then we can probably go ahead and get started a little bit. We'll try to, I guess, not cover too much if they're going to show up. So I guess I can start, since that'll be relatively straightforward. So I apologize for not having video on. I was not quite ready for this meeting, but my name is Sharon Snyder. I'm Vice President of Collegiate Affairs for 17th National Council. I am a graduate from the Ohio Northern Iota chapter, graduated in 2009, so I've been out for a little bit. I was not super involved as an active sister and was kind of in and out of things as an alumni member. But then the past, I guess it's been 3 years now, I served as an RFD and then just completed my first term as BPCA. So the main responsibility of my job is to basically act as a liaison between the active members and the chapters and the rest of National Council, and your RFD really helps me with that. You know, your region alone has 4 chapters, and we've got 11 different regions. So there's definitely a lot more of you than there are of me, and the RFDs are absolutely invaluable in helping me keep track of everything and manage all that stuff. So let's see, Rafia, did you send me your presentation? I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let me pull up Rafia's presentation so she can share a little bit about her with you guys. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just a mess today. I am so sorry. All right. Okay. So I will go ahead and share. All right. Can everybody see the presentation? Hopefully we're good. All right. So yeah, Rafia, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hey guys, my name is Rafia Hack, and I will be your East 2 RFD for the year. Sorry, next slide. So just the plan for today, I'm gonna introduce myself a little bit. For those people who don't know me, we're gonna talk about what is a regional field director, the responsibilities, goals, and expectations I have, contact information, and then lastly, any questions or concerns you have. So a little bit about me. I was the founding Alpha class member for the Alpha Rho chapter at Old Dominion University. While I was an active, I served as the treasurer and later the vice president. I graduated last year in May with a degree in computer science. And as an alum, I've served on the National Marketing Committee, and now I'm the Regional Field Director for East 2. I currently live in Norfolk, Virginia with my family and 3 birds, and I work as a flight software engineer at NASA Langley Research Center. Here are some of the pictures of when I was an active. On the top left, that's my bird sitting on my head, obviously having the time of his life. On the lower left, it's a group picture from last year before I graduated. And in the middle, it's a picture of the Alpha class ceremony. And lastly, the one on the right. It's one of my favorites. It's a picture of the executive board members at Virginia Commonwealth University. All right, so the good stuff. An RFD is basically the primary liaison between active members and National Council. So I would be your primary point of contact for any questions that you may have, and not just you, but like your executive board, your faculty or alumni advisors. I would be assisting chapters in complying with national sorority standards, and that includes like requirements and deadlines as well. I'll be providing guidance to help improve chapter performance and help chapters grow and develop. So overall, I'm here not just for the chapters collectively, but also for each active individually. You can pretty much contact me about anything. Obviously, this list is just a few of the things, like internal chapter issues, member issues. If you have anything within your chapter in the university, and this includes your like Greek life office or department, or your chapter in the community, alumni interaction, obviously within National Council and HQ, I will be telling you about the deadlines and requirements. You can talk to me about end of term reports, chapter handbook, or anything else. It's all like, everything's included. I'm just not here to like tell you what to do. I'm not gonna tell you like, hey, just submit the reports or whatever. You can also contact me like if you have any good news. It doesn't have to be all bad. Here I want to talk about some goals and expectations I had. So I plan to check in monthly with all the chapter presidents just to like make sure there are no problems or anything. It's going to be like really informal. I'll be checking in with Sharon, the VP of Collegiate Affairs. I'll be emailing reminders of deadlines and requirements to chapters, responding to questions via email, social media, text, phone call. And this goes for any active, not just presidents. So if any of your chapter members had any questions, please feel free to contact me. And another thing you can expect from me is that I will be responding to any questions you have like within 48 hours. And chapter presidents, you do not need to wait until your monthly check-in to talk to me. You can like pay me anytime between your monthly check-ins as well. And just to give you an idea of who is in, just to give you an idea of who is in the East 2 region, it's University of Florida, Howard University, Virginia Commonwealth University, and Old Dominion University. And this is all my contact information. I know different people prefer different forms of communication, so whichever form you feel most comfortable with, let me know. I've got my email up there, east2rfd@phi-sigma-rho.org. And if you have like something time sensitive, I got my phone number up there as well. I would say that I may not pick up if you call me while I'm working. So if you have like something that you need to like talk about, then it would be better to text me. You can do both. I have my social media platforms up there, Slack, GroupMe, WhatsApp, again, whatever you feel comfortable with. And one quick thing about that, I was planning on creating a group chat with all the chapter presidents in the region, just in case you guys want to talk to each other, or it's easier to like send out information as a group. So if everyone's okay with GroupMe, that's probably what I was planning to use for that. So hopefully no one has a problem. If you do, you can let me know. We'll figure something else out. And then lastly, I know some people prefer talking face to face, so You can FaceTime me if you want, or if you have an Android, we can video call through Zoom or Google Hangouts. Whatever you prefer. So yeah, questions, comments?
Well, hopefully by the end of this roundtable, we'll have some questions or some discussion points. But okay, awesome. Thank you, Rafia. So I've introduced myself, your RFD's introduced herself. So now we'd like to give you guys as our active members the chance to introduce yourself. So if you just want to tell us a little bit about your responsibilities within the sorority, which chapter you're from, obviously, and then most importantly, a couple of goals that your chapter has for the year, a couple of goals that you have maybe for your individual position for the year, and then challenges that either your particular position will be facing or your chapter as a whole will be facing. And Rafia is going to be taking notes on this, that basically it's going to help her develop her game plan, her strategy for what things to focus on, what things to help you guys with as we go through this upcoming academic year. So let's start with Amberlyn. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself again, which chapter you're from, your position, goals for the chapter, goals for yourself, and then challenges that you think you'll be facing this year.
So, hello everyone. My name is Amberlyn, and I'm from the Tau chapter at the University of Florida. And so some goals that I have for our chapter this semester is to just like keep up the morale, especially since like everything that's going on. We have met as exec a few times this summer to try and figure out how we're going to do events online and stuff like that. So I'm really hoping that our girls will still come out. I know that like, one of the challenges we're going to have is making sure that attendance is up at events. So yeah, just overall trying to keep up everything with everything that's going on, I think is a really big obstacle we're going to face this semester and possibly in the spring as well. I know another challenge we're going to face is like trying to recruit. So I know that our goal is to try and start advertising our sorority and our chapter now during the fall because we rush in spring. So yeah. Did I miss any other points?
What's your position in the chapter?
Oh, I'm the president of our chapter.
Okay, awesome. I think most of the people on our RFD calls are, but we've had some interesting exec board members call in. Okay, all right, nope, that sounds good. Awesome, thank you, Amberlyn. Next, Melissa, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Melissa D. I'm the president of the Alpha Rho chapter at Old Dominion University. Right now, we're trying to figure out, because we're still fairly new, right now we're just trying to keep our heads afloat and kind of get our lives together with recruitment through the coronavirus, because we do currently only do recruitment in the fall, and it's going to be rough. But right now we have plans for recruitment and then a couple of other events that we're planning on doing throughout the semester, both virtually and one kind of in person but outside event so that we can stay away from each other. What else am I supposed to talk about?
Goals as well as challenges.
Okay, my goals for this year are to to make it to where our new classes, we have to have littles for them, like not littles, twins for our bigs to make our classes like a decent size, which is definitely going to be a challenge. And then another challenge I think we're going to have is getting kind of ourselves out there because we are not Pan-Hellenic and we're not associated with them at all. But we have a solid plan and we just kind of hope that it all goes through.
Okay, all right, awesome. Sounds good. Thank you, Melissa. All right, and Tanya, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Tanya, and I just want to apologize for tuning in a few minutes late. I'm actually driving down to school right now. So I am the chapter president of the Omega chapter at Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia. So I think just for goals this semester, we've been actually seeing during the summer a lot of tension with Greek life in our school in general, just like women coming forward talking about poor experiences that they've had in relation to like racial inequality, like shaming with sexuality and things like that. And so I really don't see that going on with our girls, but we just wanted to be proactive about it and start a culture conduct group where we talk about, you know, basically the diversity inclusion that we've been talking about throughout the conference these past couple days. And I think that's really important. We've obviously been learning a lot through that. And also Greek unity, as the previous president mentioned, just feeling more included into our Pan-Hellenic, sorry, into our Pan-Hellenic council, because we are included in our CPC council. However, we're just not seen really. Like, I think we feel like kind of an afterthought with that, and we want to be more heard and be more involved in the decisions that they make. And then also another challenge, as everyone pretty much mentioned, is the virtual recruitment. I think that is going to be different, but hopefully everything goes well with that. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks for all of your feedback, everybody. It looks like recruitment is obviously going to be a common theme or a common challenge that all three of you mentioned. I guess I know that the virtual recruitment session was mandatory, and I'm not sure if you attended on behalf of your chapter or someone else. But if any of you did attend, or if you didn't but you got feedback from the member of your chapter who did attend, do you feel like that session better prepared you for what's going to come up in the fall, or is there anything that you think either VP of membership Caitlin could kind of beef up a little bit, help out a little bit more, or are there questions that that Rafia and I can answer?
So I didn't attend it personally because I had to work, unfortunately, but my VP of membership attended it, and she said it wasn't really as helpful as she was hoping it was going to be. I think she still is trying to navigate like how we're gonna do everything as far as like, how we do our recruitment, as far as like how we're gonna do events and like stuff like that. So like I don't know if that was just a confusion between like what was being said in the session and how she interpreted it. But like I said, I wasn't able to attend personally, so I didn't get to, have the information firsthand. So I think we would just all like to know like maybe some like tips or something like that on trying to figure out how to do these like recruitment events over Zoom or online or something like that. But I think that's also something that we're gonna have to navigate by ourselves at the same time, just because it is something new. Like I don't think anyone's ever had to do this before. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, thanks for that feedback, Amberlyn. Yeah, I did call into Caitlin's session about that, and it was definitely more of an overview on things in terms of tips for holding either virtual chapter events or specifically virtual recruitment events. I actually would encourage all of you guys to hop on Instagram and check out other sorority, not like local chapters, but like the main national page, like our, main Phi Sigma Rho page. Hop on there for other sororities, whether or not they're Pan-Hel, but just to get an idea of what kind of information they're putting out to their membership as well. Or, just cruise through Instagram accounts of other chapters on your campus. I think that, just kind of gathering information from a variety of sources can help, spark some new thoughts, or, maybe give you guys a couple ideas of things to just borrow from other chapters, or see if you can make it work for your specific situation. But like you said, a lot of this is going to be figuring it out as we go. Obviously one thing I can offer from firsthand experience today is make sure that you've got your meeting links and your hosting information and all that stuff set up. If you're switching platforms from like Zoom to Microsoft Teams or something like that, get all your details worked out ahead of time. Other than that, it's going to be trial and error. Like you said, this is something that we're all trying to figure out together. I am hoping that once Caitlin gets the recruitment liaisons hooked up with each chapter, that they'll be able to provide some more information, either tips and tricks that they would recommend for holding virtual events, or things to get better engagement through social media posts. Just items like that. And I know another thing that should be coming out soon, if it hasn't already, is kind of a marketing toolkit. So things to help everybody, all the chapters, with consistent branding, just to make sure our Phi Sigma Rho logo is consistent, colors are consistent, fonts are consistent. And I want to stress that this doesn't take the place of any recruitment materials that you might have already prepared. This is just kind of a template or a guide to help everyone, standardize your chapter website. There's another thing: make sure your chapter website is updated. Make sure your social media accounts are updated. Maybe, you've got a Twitter account that has been really hit or miss with things, and, maybe fire that up again. There's a lot of different options. Like you said, it's going to be trial and error. And I will pass that information on to Caitlin, that, maybe kind of some general tips for virtual event engagement and then virtual recruitment event engagement, and see if she can put together some resources, or just a quick bullet list for you guys for that. So one thing here so Virginia Commonwealth, Tanya, so you guys said that you are part of Pan-Hel, but you feel like a little bit of an afterthought. And then Melissa, you guys at Old Dominion, you are not associated with Pan-Hel at all. So Amberlyn at Florida, are you guys part of Pan-Hel, or a different Greek council, or are you just like an independent on your own sort of thing?
We're pretty much independent. We're part of a BEC council, but that's mostly for like engineering in general. So they don't specifically help us in any way. I think it's more like they host events, like different types of engineering events, like engineering fair and stuff like that, and we like usually have a table or something at them, but it's not like a Panhellenic thing.
Okay, so you guys kind of get marketing from the College of Engineering side versus the Greek life side of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, so yeah, Tanya, VCU. Actually, I would suggest that you reach out to the ladies at Arizona State and University of Arizona, so Alpha Kappa and Alpha Lambda chapters. I know that they have both worked very, very hard to really integrate themselves within Pan-Hel and kind of that traditional Greek life environment. So I would suggest that you reach out to them for suggestions, or what they've done, what they've had to go through to really feel like an actual part of that traditional Greek life community. And then Melissa, Old Dominion, are you guys considering trying to become members of Panhandle? Is that something that the chapter has talked about, or is it just kind of you're not there yet?
We've talked about it a couple of times. We have a lot of concerns about it. But someone actually asked in the president group chat last week about it and how like other chapters are Panhellenic and how that works. And they said they're, I think, associate Panhellenic, which I was going to start looking into for us, because I feel like that, like, because what they were talking about is they said that they're Panhellenic to an extent, and that they go through like Panhellenic's first round of recruitment, and then after that they do their own recruitment, which recruitment was one of our biggest concerns because we are specific majors. So I was going to start looking into that for us, but we do work really well with the College of Engineering at ODU. They love us. So anytime them to like send out our recruitment flyers or like, hey, can you email all of your students about this? They'll gladly email for us and shout us out, kind of.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Let's see, yeah, I think, oh, excuse me, yeah, based on what you guys have said, so like I said, you're our second RFD roundtable. The previous session, you know, there were a lot of comments, very similar to what you said, Amberlyn, just trying to keep up morale, keep up attendance for a lot of virtual events. And I guess it's kind of like, you know, the recruitment virtual events thing that we don't have a magic bullet for that. You know, I think this would be a great opportunity for you to use your RFD, you know, to ask about, you know, maybe events that, you know, maybe her workplace has had some really cool virtual events, or, you know, use her as a resource to pull in sisters from other chapters. You know, you guys could try and do big regional virtual events. I know I mentioned this during our opening session, the State of the Sorority, that a goal for this year or for the next 2 years for the RFD terms is to start the virtual or the regional leadership conferences, start those again. You know, so if there's something your chapter can do to kind of prepare for that, or, you know, kind of do your own leadership programming spread throughout the year. It's, yeah, I know at this point everybody's getting tired of Zoom, like the novelty of beach backgrounds and, you know, crazy filters has kind of worn off, and everybody just wants to see their friends face to face again. But, you know, I think maybe sending out polls to your membership, you know, like, what do you guys want to see? What do you want help with? Do you want us to try and get external speakers, even if, you know, that speaker is from another chapter? So there's definitely a lot of places where Rafia can help as your RFD to pull in resources from other chapters in the region, to pull in other regions, to pull in resources from council. So don't be afraid, like I said, to go to her and ask things, or like I mentioned earlier, you know, cruise other sorority social media accounts to get ideas for events, or how to, you know, bump up your engagement with current members, how to, you know, attract and engage new members, some things like that. So I think that was everything off of, you know, the goals and challenges that y'all had talked about earlier. So I know at the end of Rafia's presentation, you know, she had that questions thing. So do you guys have any questions either for her or for myself? Again, you know, we want to try and make sure that you guys are comfortable coming to her with anything. You know, when I was serving as an RFD, I had sisters coming to ask me about applying to grad school, you know, or obviously then more chapter related things, like if there was a particularly challenging or negative deactivation that was ongoing, or how do we pick a new faculty advisor? That's the other question. You guys all have a faculty advisor and an alumni advisor. You should all have 2 people to fill those 2 roles. Does any chapter not have either one of those? I'm going to take silence as everybody has a faculty advisor and everybody has an alumni advisor. My next question for you guys, oh, Tanya, you're unmuted, yeah. Okay, it says that you're talking, but we can't hear you. I think you were driving, otherwise I'd ask you to type. Okay, I think you're not in a great area for cell reception. We're gonna give you a couple minutes, try again. Yeah, because the other thing too, that if, you know, maybe your chapter is looking at trying to get a new faculty advisor or a new alumni advisor, that's a great thing to ask your RFD about, you know, how do we pick these people? Or, you know, how do you break up with your former faculty or alumni advisor? And part of that is, you know, being honest with what you guys want or need as a chapter in those two roles. So yeah, hopefully everybody's got people in those positions that they really enjoy and they work well with. So if you guys have any other questions about, like I said, either RFD things or things for collegiate affairs, now would be the perfect opportunity for you to ask us. Okay, Melissa.
I have a question about the audit that we're supposed to do.
Yes.
What is it? How do we do it? Done it before because at least I didn't know about it. I'm pretty sure that our previous president didn't know about it.
Yeah, so this is something that's kind of buried in the chapter handbook that Alex, our National VP of Finance, and I are trying to break it out into its own document. So when we say audit, we don't necessarily mean something like having an external accountant or bookkeeper come in. At the minimum, it should really be, you know, at least 2 members of exec board, so your VP of Finance, your treasurer, whatever her position is, and 1 other person going through all of the chapter's expenditures, either for the previous academic or calendar year, however you guys want to do it. And basically making sure that each time you have an expense, you can match it up with, you know, what it was for. So there's not just like this random string of $5 Starbucks charges and people are like, what the heck was this? And, you know, it's your VP of communications getting her afternoon pick me up. You know, it's basically saying that you can account for every penny that the chapter has spent and it's been a legitimate purchase. I think sometimes there might be university resources that can help with this if it's just like a really overwhelming thing, like if you've never done one before, you know, reaching out to Greek Life and seeing if, you know, they could help you guys just make sure that you've got a balanced, your checkbook is balanced, basically, to use some old school things there. The other thing is your RFD as a resource. You know, she can help if you guys have questions, but it's basically making sure that your books are balanced. And it's just a good thing to do in case you would get audited by the IRS, let's say, or if, you know, somebody in the chapter came back and they had concerns about the budget or how their money was being spent. You know, if somebody came to council and they're like, hey, I think, you know, so-and-so is misspending all of our chapter dues, you know, Alex would probably contact you guys and ask for, you know, for statements and being able to account for everything. So it's a good practice. You know, your chapter is basically a small business. It's good practice just to make sure that your books are balanced. But that's really all an audit is when we're talking about that. And like I said, Alex and I are working to get, you know, some useful, helpful details split out about that and to provide chapters a little bit more guidance. So Melissa, did that answer your question?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, so there's nothing that you have to document in chapter spot for this. It's basically just something that we're saying, you know, kind of a scout honor, do on your own sort of deal.
How would we keep a record of that?
It could be just something that even you could just note it in your chapter minutes, but I'm assuming that there's some kind of folder that your finance person is probably keeping track of. So, you know, she could just make a note in that, like a running audit list, like when you did the audits, these are the 2 people that did it. It took us approximately this long. You could say, well, we couldn't immediately find receipts for XYZ, but then, you know, we contacted people, or, you know, just say that we went through all of our accounts and everything was balanced. But if you've got something like that, and then just making sure that, like I said, that you can account for everything, which is kind of separate of the audit, but just making sure that you're keeping receipts or documenting expenses, things like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know it's an audit, like audit is a big scary word, but like I said, it's just making sure that you can account for everything that you've spent, and kind of helping to cover yourselves in the case that somebody asks to see, you know, why'd you spend this much on whatever. So yeah, so do we have any other questions? Like I said, either for me on Collegiate Affairs as part of National Council, or RFD specific questions. I see Tanya, you're back. If you wanted to try and ask your question again.
She just texted me. She said she didn't have anything to add.
Oh, okay, awesome. There we go.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt, but yeah.
No, that's okay. That's perfect. Yeah, so you've got all of Rafia's contact information. This meeting obviously is being recorded and will be available later. The Google Doc spreadsheet that Gabby sent out earlier that had the mandatory sessions, there's a new tab in there for with the YouTube link. So the RFD sessions will not be searchable on YouTube, so you will have to use the link to get to the session. So if you didn't, you know, if you want to double check her contact information, Rafia's contact information, you'll need to use the link to watch the video and do that. Obviously, my email, VP of Collegiate Affairs at phi-sigma-rho.org. There's also an RFD Instagram account, rfd.phi-sigma-rho. That's we've got a couple of the RFDs that are going to be helping to run that account. So you know, tag us if you guys have good news. If you've got a sister who wins an award in College of Engineering or Greek life, or you know, the entire university community. Like Rafia said, you know, we want to hear about your good stuff too. You know, that's what makes being a volunteer for the sorority is so much fun and so special. And you get to share your big news and your accomplishments with us. So with that, I am going to